Hi everyone, hope you're doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. Now, the former CJ, David Maraga, is one man who has been respected so much by so many Kenyans by coming out to stand with the truth, especially during the 2017 general election, when he fearlessly nullified a presidential election, making history and headlines in the country and across the world. So to that extent, there was total respect, and then our courts in this country really gained a lot of trust from Kenyans and even our neighbors across the world. That was the reality. So that time, CJ Maraga was the president. Now, Maraga is a retired man, but still the trust that Kenyans have or have had for him is still there.
Get me that Bible. In the name of God, the creator of the entire universe, I have never taken a bribe, and I will never take a bribe.
Now, after Maraga's retirement, his social media were dormant until December last year. That is when he reactivated his social media and started speaking out and even condemning government when they go wrong. On issue of abduction, he came out and condemned that. Then, as of late, we saw a group of young activists meeting David Maraga at his residence. There was a meeting there. And after that meeting, a lot has been able to come out. Even after the meeting, Maraga also went to the church. That is SK, I think SK Church, to meet the youth again. So with that, again, he said he went to that church on invitation of the youth. That's why he was in that church. So he has been now coming out, and the mainstream media, including other people elsewhere, are asking a question. What is David Maraga up to? Anatafuta nini? What is Maraga up to? We also saw posters now printed, CJ Emeritus Maraga for presidency. That is now again something that is outside here. So, looking at all this, one is easily going to conclude that Maraga is now back into active politics. A retired CJ who went silent, and even he took some task when Ruto assigned him to look at the affairs of the police. But now he's back here, condemning the evil in the government and showing interest in our politics right now. So to that extent, Maraga is making headlines in the news. He's making headlines, he's in the newspapers, and he's being fronted as a presidential candidate ahead of 2027 general election. Maraga is 74 years as we're speaking. In 2026, he will be 76. But above all, even with age, Uhuru was the youngest president, and Ruto is also young in our history here. But look what Ruto has taken us through. Then compare with Kibaki, who came to power when he was older than William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. Because the most celebrated president in this country, even despite the other issues, is none other than Mwai Kibaki. So, there is something I want us to look into. Maraga is here. Then, there is also another push for the former CS for Interior, Fred Okengo Matiang'i. Fred Matiang'i is known for his resilient when he wants to do something. He will push for that thing to make sure that it is effective. Alikuwa kwa education, we know what he pushed for, and he left a footstep there. He was in communication, mambo ya digitalization kutoka analog ya TV na nini zote kukuja huku kwengine. He also pushed for that. So everywhere that he has touched, or he has been able to work, at least we can see change. So he's a man who, when you allow to work and offer an opportunity, he can bring that change. So we have two people here, Maraga, then the former CS Matiang'i. All of them are Kisis. Hawa ni Wakisi, Abagusi, from that region. Looking at this situation politically, is there a possibility that the government hand is in this? Two good men who can be offered an opportunity to serve this country. Is there a way that the government is trying to push for a narrative for one of these two in an attempt to counter the other one? That's the big question of this punchline that I want us to look into. But just a quick request for those who are watching this channel and you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To our returning subscribers, I must say thank you so much. And again, to all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much, and back to our discussion. Now, I know to some extent that those who are condemning Matiang'i, that when he was CS for Interior, people suffered during protests. They were beaten, broken, injured, some died. Indeed, it can be true Matiang'i was the minister there. But how sure are you that he was fully in charge of all this? Because we are here and we are learning that under William Ruto, the IG of police is not fully in control of security in this country. We've heard stories about a group of police officers with their command domiciled at cooperative building in Nairobi, where the commandant responded to the president directly, and they also get orders directly from the president. And that has been a group that has been allegedly involved in abducting Kenyans, the issue of forceful disappearance, the issue of torture, the issue of managing protests, where IG of police has no any power about them. He did not form it. He is not in charge. He's not aware of anything, but he has to take responsibility when indeed the allegation is that the president is the one commanding this squad directly. So, for Matiang'i, you can have such things. That yes, he was in charge, but not fully. Command, maybe a powerful PS than the CS. We are even aware about Kithure Kindiki when he was CS for Interior. Gachagua used to give orders, by the way. How are we forgetting this? He used to give orders, including the order to invade Uhuru Kenyatta's, not the Kenyatta family, Northland farm. Kindiki was there. He could not do anything, but orders were coming from the deputy president's office. So, with that, definitely, looking at how Maraga has been able to, not Maraga, Matiang'i has been able to operate, if given a chance, he's a man who can bring change. Because he has proved that he is determined. I see the government hand in the push to have Maraga as a presidential candidate without Maraga's knowledge. That the young youth will visit him, they will be sponsored, and even posters being sponsored, headlines being sponsored in the news to push for his candidature so that he get convinced that he can vie for the presidency. He will have people around him offering that support, financial support and all that. But the intention here is that if you have these two truthful men vying for the same seat from the same region, that alone tells you that they are already divided. And therefore, Maraga might just be there to checkmate the former CS, Fred Matiang'i. Because Fred Matiang'i is posing as a threat to William Ruto if given a chance. The biggest problem we have had here is fighting corruption. Is the president able to fight corruption? Is he even truthful? He's not truthful. He seems to be leading corruption instead of fighting corruption. He seems not interested in bringing any change. But with Matiang'i, there was tangible changes. So, the House of Bagusi can have a good person that can be impressed as a presidential candidate in Matiang'i. Maraga is also a good person. But the issue of checkmating one another unknowingly is inevitable in this. I see a government hand in an attempt to sponsor Maraga so that you derail Matiang'i's push for the presidency. Because they're coming from same area. They speak same language. Na wale wataanza kusema kama nyinyi ni jamii ndogo na hamwezi elewana, mmoja wenye akue. Sasa sisi tunataka tuwaelewe kivipi? Divide and rule. This is what Moi used to use. Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, a presidential candidate, unakuwa na mwingine huko Mount Kenya, Matiba ama ni nani, anakuwa candidate, then ukipata zile kura za Jaramogi na za Matiba ukiweka pamoja, zimeshinda za Moi. But Moi would sponsor these people indirectly without knowing. Then at the end of the day, Moi becomes the winner. Ruto might be attempting that. So we should be very careful as we are celebrating these leaders when they come out. Watu wanasema damu mpya ya urais. Nimeona wameka pale Matiang'i, Maraga, George Natembea. We have Okiya Omtata and also the former Makueni governor, Kivutha Kibwana. Wanasema new blood. It might be new. But then who is sponsoring these people? Who is behind them? The person behind them, is he serious that he wants these people to capture power? Or is it a tactic of divide and rule? Remember in 2013, Mudavadi was supposed to be in a coalition with Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta. But later we had the issue of Mademoni, which was just a scheme they were playing on us. There was a reason for Mudavadi to vie for the presidency on ANC ticket. It was ANC coalition. Just to divide Raila Odinga's vote, and actually he got close to 500,000 votes. For you remember that? It was intentional, not to become the president, but to divide. So that Uhuru will have ample time to contest for this seat. So, sometimes it is a tactic of divide and rule that they are using here. So before we celebrate so much about Maraga's interest in presidency or pushing for that, we have to understand who is behind this. And is it a serious game? Fred Matiang'i. For me, a serious person is Fred Matiang'i, because already to some extent he has been there. But for Maraga, he's a good person, but look on really how he's coming out. Is he really himself, or youth wanamtumia tu kusema akuwe president, alafu wakati atafika pale mawazo yao makubwa ni kwamba ugawanya kura? I don't know your views, but I think one of them should make a decision. Mimi nisimame mwingine abaki, alafu tuone nyumba ya Mungu, can it give us the right person for the presidency? I don't know your views, but let us know in the comment section to continue with this discussion. Thank you so much, and see you in our next video.